Vincent, Winning Dreamer is a horse that you know extremely well. I think you've only ever missed 2 rides on this horse. He'll have his first run on dirt this weekend. He's an interesting runner in that 3rd race of the day.
Yeah, we'll give it a try anyway, because he always, sort of performed well at the trials on the dirt. So, yeah, I think Mr. Law want to give it a try. And fortunately, we draw 1, so, of course, at the moment for 1200 on the dirt, he might not have the speed to be, to lead or anything, but at least he can keep up with the pace. First half of the field with gate 1 is easier for him to do that, and he tend to have at the getting cover, and he's still very strong to the line. So yeah, I think he also have a chance if he sort of perform as the same as the trials,
He's a 6-year-old, Vincent. I mean, as you say, you referenced the fact he has trialled well on the dirt. What's been the thinking with not trying it before now? I mean, it seems logical, I suppose, but then I guess he's been such a good turf horse, hasn't he?
Yeah, we have to deal with either his rating will be, not many races for him, or either go into Group 3 or something which is a tougher opponent. So of course, even with the handicap, it's still pretty tough. So give it a try on the dirt won't harm for sure.
Is that a concern in your mind, the fact he has got to lump the big weight? I mean, he has gone up the 16 pounds on his last run. I guess that's a fair impost, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But he's a big boy, so even though his carry a bit heavier, I think he can manage that. Yeah.
He's been a really special horse for you too, this guy. What is it you think that sort of makes you and he click? I mean, you've obviously got good relationships with a number of horses, one very good one, but this horse you've always had a really good affinity with.
Yeah, I'm glad Mr. Law kept me on for sure, for the support, and the owner happy for me to ride him all the time. And he is a lovely horse to handle, a lovely horse to ride, very straightforward. Even though he's still sometimes in the field, he loses a little bit confidence around horses, but when he after a while, at the moment, he's old enough, he's more mature, and he can handle all that pressure, and he should perform.
Ruan CHANCHENG Prince is a horse that you know extremely well. Looks to find his conditions this weekend. You must be looking forward to getting back on board.
Yeah, I'm very happy to back on board him again, and he back to our the track. So I believe he feel comfortable in this track, and I know him very well. So I try my best to do very nice run.
Have you had a chance to sit on him since you last rode him in a race?
Yes, because this horse, when you try to hold him too much in the early stage, he fight a bit. So when you ride him, make him relax in the early stage, he can finish very, very strongly,
What's your take on the weight? He's got to carry a big weight. Is he the type of horse that can do that?
I think so, because I rode him one time and he finished third, and he did a very nice run this time, heavyweight. So I believe he can still run well with heavyweight, and I try my best to do a very nice ride.
Yeah, the run you allude to, obviously 3 starts ago off the same mark as well. So I guess if he runs to that sort of level of form under conditions that suit him, he's definitely a strong chance.
Yeah, yes, definitely, because he just have running the turf track. I believe after this race he get more form, so he back to the track, so he can do very good performance.
He has won 3 times on the turf, but what is it from your point of view as a rider that sort of makes him very adaptable on the all-weather? He's looked that bit better, hasn't he, on the dirt, this horse?
Yes, he looks better in the tracks, and I believe he can travel nicely. However, if he get cover now, because he lacks in the traveling, and he always make strong finish.
And just for you personally, obviously another winner on Wednesday night, things are just beginning to pick up a bit of pace now. You're happy with the way things have started?
Yeah, I'm very happy, because the first 3 meters I had suspension, so I start a bit later. But I keep to work hard, and step by step I find my way to get more ride. and keep it doing.
All is good is a steady improver for your stable. You opted to put the blinkers on this weekend.
Oh, honestly, you know, you look at his last few runs, he seems a little bit hesitant when he passed the line, you know. And the jockey always think about try blinkers. So we tried this time.
Has he always been just a little bit of a slow burner? Has he just taken a little bit of time to sort of come to himself, this horse?
Yeah, honestly, he's just like that, you know. Because in race, after the race, the jockey always said, you know, if you give him a little bit pressure, he might go keen. They always try to relax him, so you always have a little bit of thinking.
And from gate number 5, I mean, he's been ridden relatively prominently. Do you see yourself, or Zach anyway, being quite positive on him this time, perhaps with the headgear?
Yeah, I think the gate is okay, and Zach also know him well. Even earlier the season, he been have a very trial with him, you know.
The handicap has not been too harsh on him. He's only put him up a pound as well.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
Away from him, obviously, Golden 60 very much all the rage. How's his work progressing, Francis? When might we see him at the trials?
He's okay, and I wait for the grass trial this month, and he's healthy at the moment.
And ahead of his intended return in the Jockey Club Mile, how many trials might he have, Francis?
Maybe think about 2 trials before the race. Yeah.
But have you been happy with him since the off season?
Yes, happy with him.
And I guess with all the big races penciled in, obviously the big day coming up in December, that would certainly be his main aim.
Yeah, looking for that.
How excited do you still get about this horse, Francis?
Hopefully he still can keep the form. You know.
Plenty to look forward to, I suppose. It'd be great to have him back on track.
Yeah, I think it's a tough race in future, but we'll see.
Antoine, DECRYPT is a horse that you've got quite an affiliation with. First up for a new stable. Good to get back on board the horse, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm very happy to be back on this horse. I really like this horse. He's a very honest horse, and first runner for him this season. He looks in good form. I tried him last time. Very good feeling, and also yesterday morning the feeling was also very nice with him.
That trial that he ran in, did that ride like a good trial? Because there were some pretty nice horses in that, and he finished off strongly.
Yeah, exactly. The trial wasn't easy, and he finished strongly on my hand. I don't ask him a lot, and I feel I still have some power, so that's good.
You're drawn in gate number 3. Are you pleased enough with where he's drawn, this horse?
Yeah, I'm very happy about the draw as well. That's a help. We can jump and ride him not too far. Depending on the pace, we can adapt and see what's going on, but I can be a bit confident with him because the feeling was really good in the morning, and I think he's ready to perform.
And the reports from his new trainer, Pierre, obviously he's got his horses going well. Has he been pleased with the horse he's inherited? Have you had good reports from the stable?
Yeah, everything is good on my side, and of course he's a good trainer. He gets some winner already. It's not easy in Hong Kong, so yeah, I think he's happy, and I'm happy to be with him for this team.
It's quite a nice segue actually, because it's never easy here in Hong Kong. You managed to get that first winner of the new season there at Happy Valley. Good to get on the scoreboard, I'm sure, and hopefully from here things do sort of progress forward.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy with that as well. Yeah, everyone knows it's not easy in Hong Kong, but the beginning of the season, the really beginning was very good for me. Many second place, and then wait for a while, but it's not that long, just 2 weeks, and then the winner is here now. I will try to keep rolling on it.
With all those sort of placings, as you mentioned, how frustrating does that get for a rider? I imagine after a while, it's sort of, you sort of perhaps begin to start asking yourself, where is this winner coming from? Is it just a case of getting on with the job and hoping it all clicks into place?
Yeah, just impatient to get the winner to be for the first one of the season, but I never scare. I stay focused on my ride and do my best all the time.
Caspar, Galaxy Witness returns to the races on Sunday. Plenty of anticipation around his return. How happy have you been with his preparation?
Yeah, he's had a lovely prep leading into his first run. He's a lovely big horse, and we're expecting big things from him this season. So he's ready to go to the races. Got a lovely gate 3, lightweight, and I'm sure he's going to be competitive, even though he's up against a pretty handy field. I believe he's a handy horse.
He certainly has looked it. Leading up to this race, you've given him 3 trials, 2 down here, obviously in Hong Kong, 1 up at Chung Fo. Was that always by design?
Yeah, look, we felt he's a big horse. You know, he just needed a bit of that blowout last week, and he's come through it nicely. And yeah, so it's a nice starting race for us at 1400, and we're obviously hopeful to pick up the distance with him this prep and see how far we can take him.
Under the conditions of this race, lightweight, Matthew Chadwick's been booked. Has he been happy with what he's felt?
Yeah, absolutely. His trial was good the other day. The track was, you know, it was a rain-affected track, so we just sat on him quietly, but he pretty much towed him to the line nicely. They finished about 5-6 horses in a row together, but you know, on face value, the trial was very pleasing. He's pulled up good, and you know, there's no reason why we can't be very competitive first up.
Just reflecting on his first season, obviously, which is very good. I guess the final run was perhaps, you know, a little bit below par for what he'd shown. Was that just a case of perhaps, you know, that one run just sort of, you know, him coming to the end of the preparation a little bit?
I tend to agree with that. I mean, he'd been up for a long time. You know, he won those 4 races in a row, and then we stepped him up to the mile. And you know, it's nice to see that race form frank by that Viva St. Paul's coming out and winning first up this season. So. It shows that the race was pretty strong. You know, he looked to be a winning chance at the 200 that day, and he just sort of had enough, you know.
Yeah.
So he's had a good summer break. He's freshened up nice, and we're going to campaign him for big things this season.
Yeah, a couple of additional boosters. I think looking great was down the field, and Bourbonnaire as well. So
exactly,
really
yeah,
good.
the form is pretty strong.
You must be happy with the way your team is going at the moment. The winners continue to float. Your 4-year-olds are in very good form. So we saw Big Me recently winning Icy's another. So yeah. I guess plenty of confidence coming into this race.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Hong Kong is like anything. These horses, once they start to get into this environment, they toughen up a bit, and then we always find their second season. You know, if they've shown you something in their first prep, they'll normally go on with it in their second season. So that's what we're hoping, that we can have a big season this year and see how far we can go.
Just with perhaps one or two of your slightly older horses, we saw Senor Toba here this morning. You mentioned to me that he's due to have a run soon. Are you happy with that trial today?
Yeah, extremely happy. You know, 1,200 meters. He was strong through the line, pulled up beautiful. He'll start off at a mile, and we'll just keep building him up and concentrating on the Group 1 in December. I think he's gone to the next level this season. You know, again, he's shown us last season how competitive he can be, winning a Group 3 and sort of running close in the Group 1. But he's a different horse this season, and he can only improve. I think in the next 12 to 18 months, there's no doubt in my mind. I've trained some good horses that he's definitely a Group 1 horse.